Yo, what's up? It's been a minute since I did a video, but we about to go deep. We're going to look at this from a spiritual perspective. So this is called a spiritual entanglement. See, the definition of entanglement: a complicated or compelling relationship or situation, an extensive barrier, typically made of interlaced barbed wire and stakes erected to impede enemy soldiers or vehicle. And the definition of a relationship, this one, a relationship or entanglement. This is January 1st, 2017. This is from newdirectiondating.com. It says, in a relationship, both partners are equally committed. It's the definition of entanglement, to moving forward together. It is an even exchange of energy. In an entanglement, one partner stands still while the other attempts to pull him toward the finish line. The energy is so unbalanced that it topples everything in its path. But let's look at it from like a spiritual perspective. So just something I was praying about and came up with. So a situation where two people who entertain each other's energy when they knew that it should have never happened, but it did, can also be associated with soul ties, because some people have had an entanglement but never had sex. So I've seen situations and I've coached people where they have been in pretty much entanglements, but there was no sex involved. It just never got around to that. But the purpose of this video is to pretty much shed some light on some things if it was to look at it from like a spiritual perspective. And so to teach people some things. A lot of people aren't taught what to do in marriages. And so I wrote a book. It's actually in the editing process. It's called The Desired Marriage. So nobody ever got married with the intentions of getting a divorce. But if we don't have the right tools and the communication, there could be some barriers. So I'm going to show some clips and then I'm going to break some things down. And I already, I counsel relationships and marriages. So I am getting my certification for that, but been doing it for a very long time. And if I was, their life coach, this is what I would tell them. So I would break it down like this, so you can help build a strong marriage. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to explain some things as you see. So let me know what you think in the comments and everything like that, and how you feel about it. You know what I'm saying? Like that. So, thank you.
Red table for me, just all the stuff that's going on in the press. Mm-hmm. I felt like it was important to come to the table to really clear the air. Somebody made a statement for me that wasn't a statement I made, that went cray-cray.
And one of the reasons why I wanted to come to the table is the media, the headlines. We specifically never said anything.
Yeah.
We were purposely not saying anything. Any headline that says Jada said or Will said or the Smith said is not true. We specifically never said anything.
Right.
So coming to the table was like, we just felt like it got to the point where you got to say something.
Yeah, and to stop that cycle.
Yeah.
There's people's feelings involved.
Right.
And at the end of the day, I don't like how all of this came to be. That doesn't matter. It's all love. Honestly. And I would usually not, that would be something I wouldn't comment on at all.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's a situation that I consider private.
You just feel like it ain't really nobody's business.
Yeah.
But now Black Twitter has claimed it as their business.
But, I feel like it's healing that needs to happen. And I know there's a lot of stuff going on in the world right now.
Yeah.
Even though this is minuscule, I do feel like it's these kinds of things that create the world that we're in. And the idea of not communicating, not talking about it, not clearing the air, and just being as transparent. Just being transparent.
And I'm here with you.
Yeah, I thank you for that, because you've been on a hell of a journey with me. So that's what we're going to start with. This is a very personal journey.
Yep.
That became very public.
Yes, absolutely.
For whatever reason.
So what happened, Jada?
Okay, so let's start with, I guess about 4.5 years ago.
Yeah.
I think it was about 4 years ago. Started a friendship with August. And we actually became really, really good friends. And it all started with him just needing some help. You know, me wanting to help his health, his mental state.
Because for me, that was the thing when Og first came around, he was really sick.
He was really sick, yeah.
And the outpouring for him from our family was initially about his health.
Yeah. And I mean, we found all those different resources, you know, to help pull him through. And from there, you know, you and I were going through a very difficult time.
Yeah.
And we decided...
I was done with your ass.
Yeah, you kicked me to the curb.
I was done with you.
Yeah.
Marriages have that, though. Marriages have that.
Yeah, we broke up.
We decided that we were going to separate for a period of time, and you go figure out how to make yourself happy, and I'll figure out how to make myself happy.
Well, at that particular point in time, it was indefinite.
Yeah, I really felt like we could be over. You know?
We were over.
And then what did you do, Jada?
Well, you know, I think from there, you know, as time went on, I got into a different kind of entanglement with August. One thing I want to get clear about and clean up, one of the things that was kind of swirling in the press about you giving permission, which is, you know, the only person that can give permission in that particular circumstance is myself.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. But what August was probably trying to communicate, because I could actually see how he would perceive it as permission, because we were separated amicably.
Yeah.
And I think he also wanted to make it clear that he's not a homewrecker, which he's not.
I think so. I mean, because this is your red table, and you like brought yourself to the red table. I think you need to say clearly what happened.
As far as what?
You and I decided we were going to take our space, and what happened?
Yeah, and then I got into an entanglement with August. That's what I said.
An entanglement?
Yes. Yes.
A relationship?
Yes, it was a relationship. Absolutely. I was in a lot of pain, and I was very broken. Now, in the process of that relationship, I definitely realized that you can't find happiness outside of yourself. And luckily enough, you and I were also going through a process of healing in a much different manner. I would definitely say we did everything that we could to get away from each other, only to realize that that wasn't possible.
So we coming to the red table. So I'm in the Jada position right now. So, you know, you during that time launched into an interaction with August. What do you feel like you were looking for?
I just wanted to feel good. It had been so long since I felt good. And it was really a joy to just help heal somebody.
Yeah.
I think that has a lot to do with my codependency, which is another thing that I had to learn to break in this cycle. Just that idea of needing to fix and being drawn to people that need help, whether it's your health or whether it's your addictions. There's something about that childhood trauma that feels as though it can be fixed through fixing people versus fixing me.
Yeah.
And I think that whole process with Og really showed me that and taught me that. And I'm really grateful for that lesson.
I feel like that husband, like I'm with you at the press conference. I'm that husband. Now I got to be with you at the press conference while you like tell the world about your transgressions.
Well,
Like I love my baby. I'm gonna stand by my baby no matter what.
Well, you know, I definitely understand why it would look that way or feel that way, but I actually don't look at it as a transgression at all. Through that particular journey, I learned so much about myself and was able to really confront a lot of emotional immaturity, emotional insecurity, and I was really able to do some really deep healing. And as I came through and started to realize certain things about you and I, he decided to break all communication with me,
Right.
which was totally understandable.
Right.
And I let that be and hadn't talked to him since.
Right.
So it is a little weird that all this stuff is coming out now, since this was...
Yeah, because for me, this was years ago, right? So the fact that it's coming up now, and I think it could feel weird for people that we're laughing and talking about it, but...
It happened so long ago.
And our experiences of working through it, fighting through it, talking through it, and therapizing through it, I think that the why now is weird.
Yeah. When I say it's been a huge healing on my life, and just what I had to confront and discover, about myself, the ugly truths and the beauty. So it was something that I felt like wasn't really ready to be discussed because it hadn't been that healing, because he hasn't wanted to, Og and I haven't talked in so long. You know what I mean? So I don't know. This all seemed very strange, But I'm grateful for the journey that you and I have had together. Yeah. Because I feel like there are a lot of couples that go through those periods. Yeah. And a lot of couples that have to separate and think it's over. And, the one thing I'll say about you and I is that there's never been secrets.
Right. We came together young, and we were both broken in our own ways, and to be able to make mistakes without the fear of losing your family is so critical.
Yeah. It's the idea of any relationship and trying to get to deeper understanding of love is going to be forged in fire.
Yeah.
There's no way around it.
Yeah.
And I think that one of the things that I'm deeply grateful in this whole process between you and I is that we have really gotten to that new place of unconditional love.
Because I wasn't sure I was ever going to speak to you again.
I know.
Yeah, like the fact that I'm speaking to you again is a miracle.
I would agree.
No, but it ain't for the weak at heart. There's just certain things that you have to go through, and it's like...
And I wish, I wish that wasn't the case. I do. I wish that wasn't the case.
I sure wish it could be all magic and miracles.
Yeah. You got to go through some to get the answers. And I'm just happy because I definitely believe that you and we never, ever, ever thought that we would make it back.
Yeah, there's a real power in just knowing somebody's riding with you no matter what.
Yeah.
And you really can't know that
until you go
through some stuff, I don't want to go through this no more.
Yeah, no, I don't either.
Yeah. I'm going to get you back first, and then...
You're going to get me back. I think you got me back. I think we're good on that, okay?
Okay, that's probably true.
But, and I don't think it's about getting anybody back.
No, for me it is.
Okay. I'll give you that petty... That's what you want. But, I will definitely say it's just part of it.
Yeah.
If you expect to be with somebody for a lifetime.
25 years and counting.
We ride together.
We die together.
Bad marriage for life.
That's terrible.
It's the truth.
It's the truth.
But yeah, it's just part of the journey.
I told you the first year we were married.
What'd you tell me?
That I can love you through anything.
And I didn't believe you.
Yeah.
If somebody looked through a crystal ball and said this, and this is gonna happen, I'd be like, no way.
Yeah. You thought I was that I didn't have the girth that it was going to take to ride with you through.
Yeah. I didn't know if you would be willing to find the deep capacity to love me.
Yeah. How am I doing?
You're doing great.
All right.
Yeah. You're awesome.
So that was a lot to unpack, but let's get to it. So this is a saying that I see: an entire sea of water cannot sink a ship unless it gets inside the ship. Similar, the negativity of the world can't put you down unless you allow it to get inside you. So remember when she said about the media, she just reacted. And so what happens is, a lot of times in relationships and marriages, all that was happening on the outside world comes, and we start worrying and start stressing, and it just kind of weighs on you, and all of a sudden it comes out in an unhealthy way. Hence why the scripture, Luke 8:18 BSB, pay attention therefore to how you listen. Whoever has will given more, but whoever does not have even what he thinks he has will be taken away. So what is that saying? If you if you believe something or what somebody says, let's say, for example, your relationship is great and you like, yeah, and then you talk to somebody and they say, well, what about this? And you start to think, you know what? Maybe that is a problem. And it can start to go downhill from there. Verse 17, for there is nothing hidden that will not be disclosed, and nothing concealed that will not be made known and brought to light. And so, like I said, the Bible talks about seeking wise counsel, because watch this, not everybody that is qualified to give you advice, even though they may mean well. We got to be careful who we listen to. We can have a lot of money, and we can have, you could be a millionaire and you could be listening to somebody else who's a millionaire and they really don't know nothing about relationships, but we just listen to them. Or we can have people that are on social media and they have a million followers or a million likes, and people just start to believe them or listen to them or anything. Proverbs 23:7, for as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. So what's that saying? Whatever you believe, that's what you will be. I'm saying? If you say, well, you know what? Our marriage is never going to work. You start to believe that, you start to think that, then you'll always be looking for when something goes wrong, because nobody's perfect. So here's a part where everybody like, oh, what were you saying? Her perception. So, if you understand, I'm going to do another segment, another part of the video. This should be part 1. So, when Will said that they were over, Will in his first marriage said that he was never going to get divorced, saying. So coming into this one, saying she thinking like, we never going to get divorced or anything like that. And so when he was telling her, so when he's telling her that we're done, go find your own happiness, that is devastating to her. And what happens is, she got into survival mode. So it's, you can look at psychology. The brain can get wired into survival mode. So imagine somebody is vegan, and you know what I'm saying? And so they haven't ate in a day or a couple days. And so they're starving, and they like, oh, I'm hungry. Like, I'm starving. And somebody like, listen, all I got is some chicken. At that point, the brain will be like, you know what? Instincts just kick in. Let's just eat this chicken and we'll deal with, going back to vegan later or anything like that. So when she got traumatized because of that, thinking that we never was going to do this, and all the things that she conformed just to try to make this relationship, this marriage work, this unique union, as she called it, because that's very powerful of what she called it. I'll break that down more into the next segment. So when a person is in survival mode, then they'll just, pretty much just eat chicken or whatever meat, just because they want to survive. So when he told her that he was done with her, and like he said, he was at the point where I didn't think I was going to be able to talk to you anymore. She actually thought that they was truly done. So, she's devastated, and so she's traumatized. And so at that point, she's even broken even more, because as they both said that they were both broken, so then she's at the point where she like, what can I do, to get out of this funk or whatever she was dealing with. You talk about like self-healing. And so, with Og being there, she just went into her natural instincts of nurturing, helping him out and everything like that. And then, at some point, as you can see, the cords, they can kind of get entangled. I put cords in you know what I'm saying, in a box. And then eventually you go look back at it, you be like, how the heck did these cords get all of this tangled and stuff like that? So I don't think it was her intentions to do that on purpose, but it just so happened. And, you know, when you around somebody, feelings and stuff like that, you know, temptation and everything like that. And with her thinking that, you know, he pretty much done with me, you know, one thing led to another and it happened and they get into an entanglement. I mean, and I know some people, they don't agree with that word. And that's fine. Like I said, it happened 4.5 years ago. But if you understand the number 4 means creation, and also 5 means grace. You know what I'm saying? When the God talks about my grace is sufficient. And like I said, they started off as friends. And then Jada talked about the childhood trauma. If you don't deal with that trauma, it will come up. And a lot of times, you know, we don't get rid of it from the root. You know what I'm saying? We can shave it down and then it comes back up and it deals with, that's why hurt people. They both were broken. You know what I'm saying? They both were very young and everything like that. Like I said, I'll go deeper into the next segment. You know what I'm saying? And why all of a sudden did Og break off all communication? Because here it is, this woman, you know what I'm saying, that he's never experienced a relationship like this before. Like she's went to the depths to try to help him and everything like that. And all of a sudden she's thinking about, you know, they have a relationship, you know what I'm saying? He's thinking like, maybe I can, you know, make it work. You know what I'm saying? She's older than me, but she's mature. She's helping me. You know what I'm saying? She ain't judging me. Ain't really nothing I can give her, you know, cause she already got a whole bunch of money anyway. She did, you know, had the fame, you know what I'm saying? She already had, you know, like her shows, whatever she's on. So he's like, this woman wants me just for me, you know, and he never experienced that before. And all of a sudden, you know, at some point she starts to realize, you know what, maybe I'm in a little bit way over my head. Maybe, you know, saying this is not right or anything like that, you know, and he like, what? So he's devastated. He's like, and he has to cut off all communication because he didn't think any of that would happen. Yet, you know, like she said, it was deep healing because she got to help somebody and she got to find a new purpose in something. This is why I break it down when I'm teaching. Soulmate does not exist. It's nowhere near in the Bible, and it puts too much expectation. I know some people say you shouldn't have expectations, but I do believe there should be some expectations. Like if you're going to come as far as a marriage, you know, there should be an expectation of no cheating or anything like that. Now, some people is okay with that, you know, but that would be one of the expectations. I mean, and then looking at when Will told her to go find her own happiness, a lot of people, they look at soulmate to complete you. But it says, Genesis 2:18, it is not good for man to be alone. I will create him a helpmeet. And that's what it means. Meet you where you need help, or helper or helpmate. And, you know, you want somebody to help you. You know what I'm saying? That's why God was saying it's not good to be alone. But, you know, when people are hurt, like I said, when Will was hurt for whatever they was going through, they said they've been in some ups and downs or anything like that. And even when he said, you know, he's been doing so much acting, he was like, bad marriage for life. You don't got to have a bad marriage. And I know I hear people say all the time, it is what it is. That might be the case, but you don't have to stay like that. You know, you might have depression. It is what it is. I got depression, but you don't have to stay there. You know what I'm saying? You might be having a bad marriage. It is what it is, but you don't have to stay there. And so, you know, when Will was saying the why now is because it's time for a lot of people to heal. They don't know. Like I said, you know, imagine, you know, like somebody trying to put something together and they don't know the tools. And so that's what I'm doing. I just got done finished writing a book. It's actually in the process of being edited, but it's called The Desired Marriage, because watch this. Nobody ever got married with the intentions of getting a divorce. But if you don't have the right tools, then think about it. You know, just imagine like having a big Lego set, you know what I'm saying? And every Lego set comes with instructions. And so what happens is a lot of people, they look at the picture of what they want it to be and they don't read the instructions. And so what happens is they start to put the pieces together, and at some point they get frustrated, or it falls, or it breaks, or it gets knocked down. You know, pieces are missing. And so what they get frustrated, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, we don't want to just read the instructions yet. If we read the instructions, it would be a lot better. And so, you know, you look at what they were dealing with, you know, in their marriage, and what they were saying, and of how one views it one way and one views it a totally different way. And, you know, that's where you look at communication and everything like that. But the why now is because God is trying to allow others to heal. Like they can look at this and see it from a spiritual perspective on how to go about it. You know what I'm saying? And also, I'm getting my certification on life coaching because I've been, counseling marriages and counseling relationships and stuff like that, but being able to show people, how to get those. Like I'll tell somebody, you could be right with the wrong tone, you know what I'm saying? Because it can, it can be perceived a certain way, you know what I'm saying? And that's what you really want, but you're going about it the wrong way. But from a spiritual perspective, having your foundation in God and, looking at it, because God did not tell us to read the word. He told us to study it. And when you start to study, it'll tell you what to do about marriages, because there's a difference. A lot of people, they get married and they actually fall in love with the idea of marriage and not actually what it takes. It takes work, And so, I've heard where some people say, oh, well, where they actually stop giving them sex once they get married. But really, there's a reason why God told us to wait anyway, And so they shouldn't be withholding it. And the Bible talks about that in Corinthians. But, going about it in a way that God said. And so that's why I broke it down, because, I heard people say, oh, just get married because y'all got kids. And then they go in and then they miserable, they unhappy. And if you look at, like I said, the next segment, I'm going to break it down to just see like what she was saying, how she was unhappy and stuff like that. And you can have all of that. You can have all the money in the world. That's why I say can't nobody complete you. The only person that can complete you is Jesus. You know what I'm saying? And so people don't understand that. And they always look for somebody to complete them, like a soulmate. They say, oh, I want somebody to do that. And then if that person, can never fulfill that, especially if a person is hurt, and even somebody can have trauma or anything like that, but seeking the right help or anything like that, learning how to pray for that person. And, saying how to fast and pray. This thing goes deep when it comes to marriages, because people have a single mindset when they come into a marriage. And if you have that mindset, this is one of the things I break down, it's simple. If you go get married or you go get in a relationship, then be faithful. But if you want to do what you want to do, party, whatever, just stay single. As simple as that. One of the things I broke down, I had a cousin. He came to me and he was like, yo, cuz, you always give me good advice, man. We need to talk. I'm like, what's up, cuz? He like, yo, man, my girl tripping. First thing I said was, cuz, you got a daughter, right? He like, yeah. I said, let me ask you a question. Would you let your daughter date you? Somebody that's just like you. Like, would you let your daughter date you? He said, oh, heck no. My daughter ain't date nobody like me. And I was like, simple. If your daughter can't date nobody just like you, why would you think you dating material? You boyfriend material. It's simple. See, because I didn't let him tell me what his girl was or was not doing or whatever the case may be. I just made it simple for him. And he was like, oh, I never thought about it like that. Then I gave him one more point. I said, because if you don't become that dude, your daughter will find somebody just like you, because you are the first man that shows her what real love is, whether you're there or not. And I tell everybody that, you know what I'm saying? That's what you got to become. You got to show your daughters, you know what I'm saying? And show, you know what I'm saying, the sons what a real man should be like, you know what I'm saying? That's why me and the mother of my children, we have a cordial relationship, and she is married now, you know what I'm saying? But we have a cordial relationship. Even her husband, you know what I'm saying? We get along for the sake of the children. Because we had to, put that to the side. But let me know what you think. Like I said, this is part 1. Part 2, I'm going to show some other videos. And I'm going to break it down more in the detail of certain things as to why they're dealing with what they're dealing with. But the reason why God is allowing it now is because it's purpose. Because there are so many that are watching that actually need healing. And they'll look at it and they'll see, like, say, well, what does he got to say about it? Because, it could have been came up, what I'm saying, 4.5 years ago. And we know how paparazzi is. Once something is floating around, trust and believe they're going to put it out. But God allowed it for such a time as this, so that people can start to heal. Because some marriages is going to be able to be restored. And some may have to just leave and get a divorce. And yes, everything does happen for a reason, but it's all how you take it. You don't have to go through certain things. If somebody already showed you something, they went through it, you don't got to go and try and see if it's the same thing. We can learn from other people's mistakes. We can look at how to go about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might be able to, you see this and you may be able to connect with me or anything like that as I start to do more things about relationships and things like that. And even on my YouTube channel, where I break things down so somebody can understand. Because even with that Lego set, even if you start over, you take all the pieces down and read the instruction manual, you can build it the way that you want it now. And that's how it can go. That's how it can be. I think a lot of people, sometimes they feel like there ain't no hope. And there's always hope. That's why it says seek wise counsel. Because you can sit here and put anything on Facebook, say something, and you'll get counsel from everywhere. You'll get people's opinions, people's advice. Oh, I would do this. And I seen even times in relationships, where the woman would forgive him and the girlfriend would be like, well, if it was me, I'd still be mad. And it was just causing friction and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? And so you just got to be careful, you know what I'm saying, of who we listen to. Like I said, some people, you know what I'm saying, they're unqualified to give us advice, even though they may mean well, because not everybody has malicious intent. But, some people, have a lot of experience, but has they learned anything from it? I'll give you an example. Imagine somebody that is in college and they've been taking this course for 10 years. They ain't passed it yet. But you come in and they like, hey, yo, what's up? Listen, if you need any help, just let me know. I got you. I done took this class over 10 times. They be like, have you passed yet? Nah, but listen, you should listen to me. I got a lot of experience. So you'd be like, why would I listen to you? Because if you really had good advice, you would have been and passed it. And so this is what we look at. We look at people that are in marriages and we feel like just because they have, experience, that they know what they're talking about. But the Bible says that, we got to seek wise counsel, but it also says we got to test the spirits to see if they're from God or not. Because like I said, you want to be careful, because listening to what you hear can be detrimental to your marriage or to your relationships. And you don't want that seed to grow. So as always, love y'all. God bless. Be looking out for part 2 and let me know what you think down below, so see y'all next time.